Aaron, I never guessed.
I got
Oh,
you.
there we go.
Okay.
All right. Now we're going. Cool. What's up, everybody? Good to see all of you lovely people. Whoever turns their webcam on first. Which can they turn the webcam on? Somebody try it. There we go.
I think I can, yeah.
Yeah, Shalonda turned hers on. Chanel turned hers on. Good. All right. I like a few people having them on so I can look at you while I'm talking and I'm not just talking to a bunch of avatars. Although one guy on the team, this has been a few months ago. Who was this, Bethany? I don't remember now. They took a screenshot of themselves while they were on Zoom. So it looked like they were like paying attention and they made that their thumbnail. So every time we'd have a meeting, they would turn their webcam off, but it looked like their webcam was on because they took a webcam picture versus like a thumbnail of some sort that obviously looks like you're not on. It was pretty amazing. If you could do like an animated GIF as a thumbnail in Zoom, you could literally not attend any meeting ever and just turn it on, turn your cam off, and be totally set.
I heard some kids did that when they had to do Zoom for school. They
Oh,
would
really?
they figured out how to do that and then like not have to go to school.
Just put the iPad. You could totally hack it somehow. That's awesome. Welcome in, everybody. Thank y'all for coming. We'll get started here in just a minute. As you're coming in, give a quick intro to yourself. Would love to. This is obviously, if you've attended, let me know this in chat. Yes or no, have you attended one of these in the past? We've done 3 or 4 of these over the last few months, and every time we do one, I kind of share the purpose, which is gonna know. Which we want to get to doing a weekly show where we have a workshop focused on a very specific like tactical marketing item that we're working on teaching and then doing together, and then just talking shop, sharing things that are working for us, inviting some of you on to share. So a lot of first-time people. That's awesome. So we'll go over agenda and how we're going to run the next hour. So it'll be hour 20 max. We'll have a recording we'll send out after the fact. So if you have to jump off, we'll I think we send those in the Saturday kind of digest email. So look at your email on Saturday and you'll see those come out. But anyways, let me know in chat a couple things. Number one, if you've attended or not, yes or no, first time or however many times you've been on one of these. And where you're from and your website address. So I'm Brian. I live in Nashville, Tennessee, technically a suburb called Franklin. And my website's Growth Tools. And a lot of y'all know that if you're here, you probably saw an email we sent out announcing this. So our vision for this is to have a weekly show called Shop Talk, which technically I think LeBron James owns the name of that. So we'll have to come up with some other name, but we're using that informally currently. And I think Nick Saban tried to start a show called Shop Talk and LeBron sued Saban over using the name Shop Talk. Anyway, we'll pick some official name at some point in the future, but we want to have a weekly show where anybody that does online marketing, maybe specifying specifically course creators or coaches or somebody in that type of space can come on. And we can learn from each other. We'll open up behind the curtains of what we do in our business, share a specific lesson or share a specific thing we're working on and kind of show you stuff that a lot of people don't share. We'll do some of that today and start to get to know each other, do life and business together and have a weekly kind of water cooler moment where we can learn some fun stuff, get some fun stuff, and also spend a little time not behind our computer by ourselves. What's up, Z? Good to see you, man. I've seen your Twitter profile many times. I think we've actually bought stuff from you before. That's right, Bethany. Haven't we like actually done business with Z? Yeah, I think did our t-shirts come from there?
Yeah, t-shirts. Yep.
And we need more of those, by the way. I don't know if you saw the video today, but we're going to start doing a welcome gift from me for new clients. So we got to figure that out. So Z can probably help us with that. Anyway, thanks everybody for being here. If you haven't yet, let me know in chat if you've been here, if you've been to a Shop Talk before. I think this is our 4th official one. We want to get to weekly. We're kind of doing them every, 2 to 4 weeks right now as we kind of nailed in the format and schedules allow. Starting the first of these, get to weekly. Bethany's microphone went haywire. Anyway, so be sure to introduce yourself. What's up, Anthony and Sean, Z, David from Boston, Nick, first time, Rashina, Chanel, Cheryl, Josephine, Anthony, Sean, Shalonda. What's up, everybody? First time, Marissa. All right, so we've like tons of first time people. That's awesome. So let's go. We'll jump in a little bit early. We won't do the workshop. It takes another 10 or 15 minutes to get the workshop section, which was the main invite to this, was over the workshop specifically. Let me go over kind of 4 main points, 4 main things we're going to cover today. Number one, we're going to do a fun little marketing, I don't know, what do you call it? Like marketing guessing game here in a minute. I'm going to show you 2 different ads. And I want everybody to guess. We'll maybe do a poll or something if we can do one of those quickly. And you can guess which test you thought won, and I'll share the example. I got this. I saw this test. It's an old newspaper ad from maybe, 15 years ago, but I was reading a book, which I'll tell you about in a minute. And the guy shared the before and afters, and I thought it was really compelling and interesting. So I thought it'd be interesting and fun to kind of walk through each ad and share the before and after results. And it might be something that you can use in an email or an ad or an outreach email or whatever marketing work you're working on this week. Use some lessons from that. Second part, this is what we'll spend the majority of our time on today. We'll do a welcome sequence workshop. I'm going to show you our email welcome sequence that we use. I'm going to give you a copy of it. I'm going to break it down and walk you through the 3 jobs that any welcome sequence has, and then give you a template you can use to almost Mad Lib style write your own welcome sequence and hopefully upgrade it. If you don't have one, major upgrade. If you have one, look at this, look at the major components of it and either infuse it into yours or just swap it out for this one and see which one does the best job. Okay, before we get going, I want this to be a workshop, not a listen shop. Like, I'd love to have you participate. We'll select a few people at different times to unmute their mics and talk to us. But 2, for sure, join and chat. I would love for, as we go throughout, I'm going to be asking you questions and asking for feedback. And here in a minute, I'm going to ask you which test one I want you to share. We'll pick one person who is hyper engaged to win 2 of my favorite marketing books that I've read this year. I counted up. I didn't know I liked reading until this year. And I don't know how many of you are familiar with the Enneagram, but I took the test and somebody told me I was a 5, and apparently 5s like to learn new things. So this year I just leaned into learning new things. And I started each day by reading a new book. Well, not a book a day, but started each day by reading for 30 to 45 minutes. And this year I've read like 65 books, which is probably double the total of all books I've ever read in my entire life up to this year. But anyway, 2 of my favorite marketing books I've read this year. One of them is one that a lot of you probably know because Russell's a great marketer and you've probably seen ads or different people promoting it, but it's called Expert Secrets. For some reason, I avoided this book and Russell's books for years, and they're really good. This one is the best one by far. It's one of the best marketing books I've ever read. Expert Secrets, fantastic book. And the other one I just finished up yesterday, and it's a little bit older of a book, came out in the early 2000s and republished a few times and updated. And it's written by a guy named Joel Spolstra. Any of you that are basketball fans know his son. His son is Eric Spolstra, who's the, I think, current head coach of the Miami Heat and a really successful basketball coach. Anyway, his dad, Joel, was the president of the Trailblazers and president of the New Jersey Nets, I guess Brooklyn Nets now, for over a decade. And while he was president of the Trailblazers, he had 800 plus consecutive sellouts, which was an all-time professional sports record at the time. And in this book, he walks through, it's called Marketing Outrageously. Really, really good book. The first half was one of the best marketing books I've ever read. The second half is a little bit slower. So if you don't read anything, read the first half and check out chapter, I forget which chapter it is, maybe 17, but it's about the rubber chicken. Really cool story in it. So anyway, I didn't mean to give summaries of books, but today we're going to give out a copy. We'll just Amazon Prime to your house. One person will win a copy of both of these books. Somebody that's just engaged and participating in chat. So jump in chat, engage as we go along, and one person will send not these copies because then I'd have to pack them up and mail them, but we'll get on Prime today or tomorrow and send them over to your house and you can check them out. 2 of my favorite books I've read this year. And if you're a client, we'll do these over the next year. Each of these books will be in the CEO book club that we do each month. We'll send out a copy along with our notes. We'll invite the author to do a Q&A and kind of break down and give you an action guide to execute each one of these books as well. So you can be looking for that if you're a client that happens to be on the call as well. Okay, that's the giveaway. We'll go to that in the very end and pick a winner. Bethany, make sure before you cut out, actually, we pick a winner. So you can even interrupt me if you got to go or something. Otherwise, I'll totally zone out and I won't pick a good winner. Okay. Bethany has to leave a little early today for a special date. So she has a date with Lady Gaga. All right. So let's start with this. This will be a fun way to start today. 2 different ads. This actually came out of the book, Marketing Outrageously, that I just told you about. 2 different ads. I want you all to tell me. And Bethany, why don't we do, if you can start a poll of short ad or long ad, make the call like which test one, short ad or long ad, because there's obviously the one on the left is a very short one, the one on the right is a very long one. Can you do a poll?
No.
Oh, you can't?
Not opposed, yeah.
All right, let's see if I can do this then. Do I have to make you like a which? Oh, this is probably way too complicated. Which test? Okay, that's not working. Let's just do it in chat. All right, everybody's doing it in chat anyway. All right, that's way simpler. I haven't showed you the ads yet, so don't guess. We have to actually read the ads. All right, so these ads ran, I don't remember the dates, let's say late 90s, early 2000s. Joel Spolstra is the president of, or no, he's a consultant for, I guess, the Sacramento Kings basketball team, runs these in the newspaper. This is ad number 1. Let's just read it out loud. It's very short. Kings season tickets now on sale, lower level seats available. For the best seat locations, call, there's a phone number. And on the right side, I'm going to look close because I can't read this either. You have 3 different kind of stock photography looking pictures, family fun, enthusiasm, that gets me. It's a slam dunk decision. Some amazing copywriting going on there. All right, so that's ad number one. And I don't remember the exact ad spends. I do know the ROIs. I'll share those in a second. Let's say for the sake of our thought experiment here and making this specific, each ad had $10,000 put on it. I think each one was actually slightly lower than that because I bought 3 or 4 placements of each one. All right, so that's ad one. Ad number two, Michael Jordan, Shaq, and the new Saint. And I'll read a little bit of this copy to kind of prime you. I won't read the whole thing because it's kind of long. What Kings ticket package could we dream up where you would say, wow? The dream ticket plan would have to start with Michael Jordan and the Bulls. Michael is so much fun to watch, and this may be his last season. The Bulls play only once in Sacramento. That one game is in our dream ticket package. The dream ticket plan would also have to include Shaq and the LA Lakers and Utah with Karl Malone and John Stockton. In fact, what if we came up with a game plan that had the 15 very best games on our schedule? All the biggest games with the biggest NBA stars. Take a look at the games. And then there's a table in the middle. You can see that. I don't know if you can zoom in if you can't see it, but has each game with the date and some information about it. Actually, the information is the star players. And then the rest of the ad from the bottom left. Can you see my cursor on the screen, Bethany? Okay, so from the bottom left down here, this is just what you get in the package. So you get a specific seat, you get a free signing bonus. I think it's a basketball or something. You get an easy payment options, and up at the top right, you get playoff rights. You get first right of refusal on buying playoff tickets if they happen to make the playoffs. And then they tell you who the new Saint is, and it's their first round draft pick from that year. And then the rest of the ad in the bottom right-hand corner is just a call to action. It has a mail order form you can cut out and send in to buy tickets with a check, or in the bottom left, you can call this phone number and buy over the phone. That's ad number two. So 2 ads, short copy, King season tickets now on sale, lower level seats available for the best seat locations, call 928-3650. Right, long ad, Michael Jordan, Shaq, and the new Saint. All right, so which one do we think won, long or short? I'm scrolling back through your long, short, long. If they actually read all that, the long one for sure. Okay, so a couple context clues. It was in the newspaper. So obviously people are buying the newspaper to read things. Context clue number one. Context clue number two. Think about the copywriting framework AIDA. If you aren't familiar with that, AIDA, we'll maybe do a lesson on that at some point, but the crash course, attention, interest, desire, action. Any ad, any piece of copy should do those 4 things. It should grab your attention, build interest, build desire, and have a super clear call to action of what to do. So look at these ads in context of that. Does this grab your attention? Maybe a little bit. This might grab your attention a little bit better in some ways, maybe. And the call to action is super clear, actually maybe more clear than the long ad. Is a big old phone number. It's almost unavoidable to know what to do. But it doesn't even attempt to build interest. It doesn't even attempt to build desire at all. Unless you're a hyper aware, ready to buy person, you're probably not going to buy from this. Now look at this ad. It grabs your attention with the 3 biggest name, or the 2 biggest names in the sport at the time. The best player ever in Michael Jordan, and one of the most popular players at the time, and even still now, in Shaq. It starts the ad with that. It has the face of Michael Jordan in it, and the entire deal is built around come see the most popular people that exist in the sport. It grabs your attention, it builds interest, it builds desire with the package that it outlines, and the CTA is actually probably a little weaker in that it's not as easy to see without reading the entire thing, but it has 2 CTAs. It has either mail it in or call. So $10,000 invested into the short ad. What do you think? Give me the multiple in ROI. Was it 2x, 3x, 4x, 5x, 1x? What was the ROI, do you think, of the short ad? Just guess. All right, Blake said 10x. Give me some other guesses down here. The ROI on the short ad, 3x, 10x, 1x, 10x. Okay, short ad, 10x. All right ad. Give me the ROI now. Everything else in chat for the long ad. What do you think the ROI was on the long ad? Sean said 1.5, Anthony 80, Robert 10, Z 10, Tim 40, Sean 10, Nick 150. Okay, so $10,000 invested in each ad, returned $2,500 on the short ad. You actually lost money, $7,500 you lost on the short ad. On the long ad, a 37.5x return. So if you invested $10,000 in the newspaper in Sacramento and the right side ad, a $375,000 return, or $375,000 return on the $10,000 investment. So 37.5x ROI. That's pretty wild. I know how powerful copy can be because we run tests and do emails and ads all the time. But to see just the same ad run in the same newspaper in the same month, and one you lost money on, the other one you made $365,000 on, like that's pretty wild to see that just side by side. And it's an old example from, way back, but still that still happens today. So in the rest of our time today, or the majority of our time today, we're going to talk about the workshop. Actually, let me go back here. I don't think I zoomed through agenda. So we're going to do 4 things. Which test one we just did. I'm going to give you the welcome sequence workshop and show you how to construct and write an email sequence that welcomes new subscribers in and gets them to buy. Hey, Bethany, when you see Darius jump on, if you would let me know when he's here, if he happens to be here before you leave.
Gotcha.
Number 3, I'm going to share I'm going to give you 3 things that I found recently to be super helpful or entertaining, just kind of 3 fun shares for you. And lastly, number 4, around 3:45, 4 o'clock Central Time, we invited a client of ours on, Darius, who just wrote an email sequence. I actually don't know the final number. I know in the first couple of days, it brought in $30,000 of revenue. I think it might have gone past $50,000. We're just going to have him on and have him share what he did and share the email sequence as well. I don't think it's a welcome sequence. I think it's a particular campaign. Walk through the details of that. But at the very end of this, after the workshop, after the shares, we're going to have Darius on and just unmute him and turn the webcam on. And I'm going to ask him a few questions about what he did and see how much he'll share with us, and hopefully get the email sequence from him as well that you can use. The copy you write makes a big difference in the result you get. Same package. The season ticket package on the left here was the same package as the one on the right. The only difference was the framework that the copywriter used and the words they used to describe it. So today we're going to do the same thing, except talk about welcome sequences. How can we write a welcome sequence that actually works? Okay, does that sound good? Everybody ready? Welcome sequence. So before we jump into how to structure the welcome sequence, I'm going to show you where a welcome sequence fits into your business. Like, where does it fit in your funnel, in your buying process? So I want to go through all of this. We'll go through this. I'll show this graphic because this is our marketing system. When clients hire us, like Darius, this is the marketing system that we install for them. And depending on where you're at, it can take several months or up to a year or 2 to install this entire thing. But we'll build it in order based on where you're at. But specifically, the reason I want to show this graphic is the welcome sequence is for everyone that becomes a lead, joins your newsletter, but doesn't buy immediately. And that's the vast majority of people. So let's say, for instance, you're running an ad, or you do a podcast interview, or you rank in SEO and someone comes to your site and they enter their email address on your site, or they enter your email address on a landing page, but they don't buy within whatever your immediate sales window is. Like for us, let's say we run an ad, someone opts in for a sales call, and then they have the call a day or 2 later and they don't buy from us. What happens then? They should get the welcome sequence. Let's say in your instance, you do a podcast interview and a couple hundred people hear about you and 50 of them enter their email address and become a subscriber of yours. But only 1 person buys and the other 49 don't. Those 49 people should get your welcome sequence. Let's say you're ranking a page of your website on Google, or you have a YouTube video, or you have an Instagram account, and somebody sees that content, they come to your website, they enter their email address, a couple of them buy right away, the majority of them don't buy it right away. What happens then? They should get your welcome sequence. So if you look up here on the attract column, you want to attract leads to your business. And you want as many people, wave your magic wand, you want as many people as possible to buy immediately. Like, that's great when that happens, but 90+% of people don't. So for those people, they're going to go into your second bucket, your trust bucket. They're going to sit there until they buy. You're going to post videos to them. You're going to write emails to them. You're going to have social media posts. You're going to produce content of some type. For us, we recommend just 1 email a week. That's usually plenty enough. And if you're just getting started, 1 every other week. And in that trust bucket, they're going to warm up. But before they go from new subscriber to the trust bucket, where you're going to nurture them for a long time, you want to send them a welcome sequence. That's where the welcome sequence sits right in the gap between somebody becoming a lead and going into your regular content. You want to send them a sequence so that a couple things happen. We'll go over the job of the welcome sequence in a minute. Does that make sense though? Does that visually, I just want you to see that this isn't just some other random tactic we want to add into your business. It's critically important to bridge the gap between somebody becoming a lead and not a customer immediately. For those people, they do other things. Not becoming a customer immediately and entering your trust bucket, where they're going to get an email from you every week until they buy. And we'll talk about, that's another topic, like how you get people to buy once they're in your audience. We'll cover that later on. Does that make sense? Give me a yes, that makes sense. I understand, something like that. So, or a head nod. I can see Heather and Sean and Lisa's children. So you're the people I can actually see. Everybody else I see pictures of are off my screen. All right, cool. That makes sense. All right, so are you confident currently your welcome sequence is performing as it should be? Yes or no? And that could be, I literally don't have one, so no. Or yeah, I feel pretty good. I'm just looking for some pointers. No, definitely not. Okay, cool. All right, so your welcome sequence has 3 jobs. 3 jobs. And you write this down, take a picture of the slide, something. Because at the end of the day, I don't care if you use my welcome sequence or not. Like, it works well, so I'd recommend you do, but you might have a better one, or you might find another one at some point you want to test. So no matter what test you run or what you do, your welcome sequence should do 3 things. So optimize it for that. Job number 1 is it should build the relationship between the person and you. But might seem obvious, might not, I don't know. But the job of your trust bucket, when somebody becomes a lead, let's go back to ATM slide. This is the marketing system. And by the way, this isn't just like we have a particular way we do this, but every business on earth has these 3 buckets. You have to attract leads, build trust with them, and get them to give you money. So we have a particular way we do that works well and is efficient for the type of clients we work with. But every company, you could map Starbucks on top of this, McDonald's on top of this, the Portland Trailblazers on top of this, or your company. They all have the same 3 buckets. You have to get people to know you exist. That's the attract bucket, the left side. Then you have to build trust with them. That's the middle bucket. And the right side, you have to actually get them to have conversion mechanisms, a funnel. Like a lot of times this is called a funnel, get them to give you money. So when someone enters your trust bucket, they become a lead, they give you their email address or contact information of some sort. If they don't buy right away, the first thing you have to do is build a relationship with them. They have to trust you. If they don't trust you, they will never buy from you. I don't care what your offer is or how fancy your funnel is, they'll never buy. So the first thing it has to do is build a relationship. The second thing it has to do is to tell them what's to come. Like, all right, I just gave you my email address. It might have been for a lead magnet. It might have been specifically to opt in for your newsletter, whatever the thing is that you gave them to opt in for the newsletter, even if it's newsletter yourself. You have to just tell them what's going to happen now that they're on your email list. So just tell them, pretty simple, but tell them what's to come so their expectations are aligned correctly. And they might unsubscribe at that point. They might not want a daily newsletter. They might not want an email from you once a month. That's okay. They can opt out and that's cool. We're not worried about the people that leave. We're worried about the people that are there. All right, job number 3 is to make them an offer. Like, give them a chance to buy your product. Build a relationship, tell them what's to come, and offer them your product. So don't outthink the room. The great thing is when you make them an offer up front, 2 things happen. The vast majority of people don't take it, and that's perfectly fine. But what it does for the other people, and by the way, some basic metrics you can keep. These are benchmarks, so don't obsess over these, but I probably should put this on the slide. A really good welcome sequence with a really well-matched offer. You can see up to a 5% buy rate in your welcome sequence. So if you have 100 people a month, join your email list, 5 people can buy a really well-optimized welcome sequence will get 5% of people to buy. So that's good. Depending on your product and how many leads and all that, you can do the math in a spreadsheet and see what that happens. This isn't going to be your number 1 lead generator, your number 1 sales mechanism. But what it does is primes everyone on the newsletter to know that you don't run a nonprofit. That everyone in your newsletter knows exactly what you sell because they've been offered it at least once. So whenever you have a promotion down the line, you run a Black Friday deal, you do a webinar, you have a flash sale, whatever launch sequences or conversion mechanisms you put in place down the line, they're expecting it. They know who you built trust with them, so they know who you are. They've known they're going to get a newsletter from you once a week, and now they know what your offer is. So before they leave the welcome sequence, any welcome sequence that you create should do these 3 things: build a relationship, tell them what's to come, and make them an offer. You tracking? That makes sense? You're not unless you run a nonprofit, great. You still have an offer. Your offer is, please give me money so I can do the thing I'm trying to do. You want to donate CTA or what, you might have a fancy way you've done that. But if you literally run a nonprofit, your welcome sequence should end with, hey, by the way, we're trying to sponsor these 3 kids for this refugee nonprofit thing that we do, and we want them to be able to go to school and have transportation. So would you donate $50 a month? Literally before they end the welcome sequence, ask for it. You have to ask for it. And going forward, when you do your Giving Tuesday sale, or you run your monthly promotion or your monthly giving campaign, or whatever it is you're doing, they know you're going to ask for a donation. When you have people, this happened to us in the first couple of years of running growth tools, we just content. Once a week, epic blog posts for the first 5 years of the company. And we do a launch, like a big promotion twice a year, and we'd have a couple hundred people saying, well, you're selling out, or you're selling too hard. It's like, yeah, I don't run like, yes, the point of the business is to sell the product and help people. Yes, I'm going to be running a promotion and asking for it. Like Best Buy runs ads for you to buy their stuff. Like you're a business that sells things. Yes, you're going to ask for stuff. And if people get turned off by that, you can use that self-reflective to look at how you're doing it to see if there's adjustments to be made. Maybe it's coming across weird, but that's okay. If people aren't buyers, they can leave and they can go find somebody else. Like that's perfectly fine. No hard feelings at all. They can leave. If you make a good, well-intentioned offer in your welcome sequence and people don't like it, unsubscribe, great. That's less people you have to pay for on your ESP. So good deal. All right, those are the 3 jobs. Build a relationship, tell me what's to come, make me an offer. Give me a letter grade. A is really good, D is really bad. In the chat right now for how you're well, or you can just put like a F if you don't have a welcome sequence because you don't do any of those things. Tell me how well you think your welcome sequence does right now at those 3 things. Build a relationship, tell me what's to come, and make an offer. I'm going to show you our welcome sequence here in a second and give you a link for it so you can copy it. All right, C, B, D, D, F, 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 A. All right, we're all over them out. Good. So we got some people that are doing pretty well. Got some B's and some A's and a lot of people that don't have one at all. So people that are in the B and C category, I wouldn't wholesale swap sequences out. I would go look at some emails I'm about to show you. I'll turn off the slides and we'll go to our sequence and walk you through it. But I wouldn't make huge wholesale changes if you're doing a B or C job right now. If your welcome sequence is converting between 1% and 5% of subscribers into buyers or taking the CTA, whatever that is, then don't blow the thing up. If you're a D or F, like just blow the whole thing up and swap it out. You got nothing to lose anyway. It's not doing anything. And if you're A, definitely like make minor changes, not big changes. So Anthony Mitchell just put an A. Great. Don't wholesale swap things out if you're running an A or B. Even a C plus or something, you might want to tweak it and not make big, huge changes. Okay, so I'll give you an outline and then I'll go to the actual sequence and we'll kind of skim through and I'll give you a link so you can study it in your own time and the swap copy and everything so you can use it. Let me check time, 3:18. Okay, so 6 emails that we use. And you can add more. I wouldn't take any out of this, but you could add more to this if you wanted to, for sure. I mean, you can make a welcome sequence technically go for a very long time, but I'm gonna define the welcome sequence as the time between they opt in and you welcome them to the time that you end your introductory offer to them, your welcome offer. So you could do like autoresponder where you have your best content for a long time. I would say that's more of a like nurture sequence. It's a little bit of semantics, but for the sake of this conversation, we'll define a welcome sequence as the end of your offer you gave them when they signed up. Okay. Hey, Bethany, is all this making sense? By the way, Bethany works at Growth Tools and she's helping here today to kind of facilitate things. Is this making sense and feel good?
Yep, it feels good, Brian. Keep going.
Okay, by the way, remember, anybody that's engaging in chat, participating, we got 2 books we're going to give away here in about 20 minutes. 2 of my favorite books of the year that I've read that are marketing. Number 1 is Marketing Outrageously by Joel Spolstra. Buy it if you don't win it. And Expert Secrets by Brunson. Buy it if you don't win it. Both of these are A+ marketing books. I just finished this one yesterday. And this one I read earlier this year. Both like A+ fantastic books. So go grab them if you don't win them. But anybody that's engaging in chat and participating, we'll do some kind of random drawing or selection here in a minute and give them away and mail them to you. All right. So, all right, let's walk through the sequence. Outline 6 emails. Email number 1 is the welcome email. Now, you'll notice when I show you the copy for this, the first email is intended, well, it references whatever they opted in for. You can enter someone's email list, your email list, via like a lead magnet you're giving away or opting in for a webinar. There's all different kind of ways you can join a newsletter and enter that attract bucket on the left side. This email sequence specifically is written that I'm going to show you for someone entered via lead magnet. But if you don't have a lead magnet, I'll show you a quick modification you can make that's actually deleting copy to get there quicker. So if you literally have a landing page and it's like opt in for my newsletter, you would remove a little bit of copy I'm going to show you. If you have a lead magnet on your homepage and people enter their email there, they're still entering your email newsletter and you want to welcome them, but you're going to reference the thing they opted in for first. If there is a thing they opted in for, you want to reference that before you get into the actual welcome part. So email number 1 is welcoming them and then giving them whatever resource, if there was a resource they enter their email address to get, and giving them that. Email number 2 is introducing yourself. So a little bit of indoctrination to you, literally just like, and I'll show you how to do that without being super wordy or being self-centered about you, because they don't really care about you, but they need to know you're not a weirdo on the internet. And then finding what their number 1 problem is. And if you've been in business for a long time, you might know this and be able to guess pretty specifically, but also we'll do this in a way where you'll continue to gather information about your subscribers as they come in. Email number 3 is solving their number 1 problem. We'll use something called the magic moment exercise to do that. Number 4 is giving them a surprise bonus. Number 5 is introducing your offer to them. And number 6 is expiring the offer. Okay, so email 1 through 4 tells them what's to come and builds relationship. Email number 5 and 6 gives them your offer, and, opens it and closes it. Pretty simple. All right, so let me stop screen sharing this and start screen sharing this. All right. At the very end of the day, I'll drop a link for everybody. We'll wait till we're done with everything, including talking to Darius, and I'll drop a link to this where you can actually grab all this copy. This is a tool we built years ago. Anyway, let me walk through this and I'll show you how to get this copy in a minute, but just learn for right now. Don't work right now. Just kind of like absorb, learn, make a few notes of how you're going to apply this. And then at the very end, I'll give you the link and you can go like do the work when we're done. And you can, if you use this copy and the link I'm going to give you, you can have your whole welcome sequence written by the end of the day and just upload it to your ESP. Okay, so I'll skim through some of this and you can kind of get the point. Email number 1 is the welcome and resource delivery email. So subject line, I like to use is just one more step. Like we're not done yet. I want you to do this. And we'll walk through what this is. Thanks for signing up for a copy of the Ultimate Guide to Client Onboarding. This is just an example email. After you go through it, so this person that opted in would receive this email if they download a lead magnet. And again, I'm going to walk through it in this flow, and then I'll show you a few modifications you can make if they didn't opt in for a lead magnet. They just opted in for your newsletter. After you go through it, you'll be able to give your clients the kind of experience that will turn them into raving repeat customers. This means you'll finally be able to stop worrying about where you're going to find the next one. If you weren't already excited, I hope you are now. Here's a link to access it. You just have a link, you click and go to the resource. If you have any questions as you go through it, I want to hear them. Just reply to this email and I'll be happy to help. You'll also be able to go, you'll also get some more of my go-to resources for delighting your clients over the next few days. So keep an eye out. So we're telling them, we're seeding a little bit about what's to come, and we're mainly focused on just giving them the thing that they opted in for. Excited to have you on board. All right, so that's subject line number, or that's email number 1. Email number 2 is the introduce yourself and find out their number 1 problem email. So the goal of this email is to get your subscribers to reply with the number 1 problem. This will give you valuable feedback about your audience and help you develop a more personal relationship with them. So kind of 2 parts of this email. Part number 1 is the introduction to you, like a super brief introduction to you. I don't need your life story. I just want like a few little details about you so that I feel a little bit more connected to you than I did before. And you go from like total random stranger on the internet to like, okay, I think I remember who Brian is, or I think I remember who Anthony or Sean or Lisa are. All right, here it is. Subject line, my bad. Good subject line, by the way. Again, you can take any of this specific copy, tweak it for you and how you talk or whatever, but all this copy has been tested pretty good. I've just kind of generic, I've used a different industry and product type and put in this copy. So it didn't feel like all stuff written for Growth Tools. Subject line, my bad. I probably owe you an apology. Yesterday's email that gave you the ultimate guide to client onboarding might have been a little bit rude. I was in such a rush to deliver it that I totally forgot to introduce myself and find out more about you. Are you up for a do-over? If so, there's something special for you at the end of this email. It's a really good introduction to the email. So I would copy that almost verbatim. That's a good copy there. Here's 3 quick things you probably don't know about me. By the way, I wrote this copy years ago, but sometimes I go back through my own copy and it's like, this is terrible. We got to rewrite some of this stuff. So I'll just make positive and negative comments as we go. Here are 3 quick things you probably don't know about me. Thing number 1, I've traveled to all 50 states, and the top 3 are unquestionably California, Washington, and Maine. Thing number 2, I live in Nashville, Tennessee, but no, I don't own a pair of cowboy boots. I also do not regularly have brunch with Taylor Swift. Thing number 3, I'm on a mission to help freelancers work exclusively with their dream clients instead of settling for whatever comes their way. Every week, so this is introduction to me, very short. And this isn't even about me. I do live in Nashville, but I've not been to all 50 states. So maybe Will wrote this and we wrote it for Will or something. Anyway, all right. Every week, you'll get a new blog post designed to help you improve your freelance business. If you want to see the best of what I've already written, you can check out my blog here, link to the blog. The bottom line, I'm here to help you meet your goals. With that in mind, reply to this email and let me know what's the hardest part for you about dealing with clients. So you would just insert whatever the problem is that you solve as a business. What's the hardest part of growing your business? What's the hardest part of losing weight? What's the hardest part of graphic design? What's the hardest part of literally just insert your subject? Send me your reply and I'll personally respond with tips or resources that can help you with it. Hopefully that can get a relationship started on the right foot. Oh, and keep an eye out in the inbox tomorrow. Whether you reply or not, I'm going to send you my best strategy for solving the most popular answers to that question. Thanks for signing up. Here's a few slight modifications I would make to this if I'm writing it fresh. I would delete this line and I would move this to a PS. So I would try to end the email with the question and the directive. Send me a reply and I'll personally respond with one thing you can do to help. And that's it. And then I would literally dash my name, PS. Oh, by the way, keep an eye out for your inbox. Tomorrow, I'm going to send you a best strategy for solving the most popular answer to that question. A little bit of an open loop. That's email number 2. Remember, email number 1 welcomes them, gives them the resource, tells them I'm going to send them something tomorrow. Email number 2 has a great introduction to get them reading, grabs their attention, builds interest, tells them a little bit about me, and then solicits them to tell me, what's your number 1 problem? I want to help you, and literally just respond and I'll respond back with a thing to help you. All right, email number 3, solve their number 1 problem. The goal of this email is to help your subscribers solve one of the most common problems they have with the thing you help them with. Providing helpful content will train them to continue opening and reading your emails. If you're just starting out, like if you have a small list, you know, I haven't been talking with people a lot, this is a great way to figure out the problem people have to solve. Build your offer around it. Been around a little longer, you've talked to a lot of people, you know what your thing is. This is a great place to, one, great email deliverability strategy. When people hit reply and type to your email, the chances of them getting your emails going forward goes up drastically. So in pretty much every welcome sequence we ever do, I want people interacting, hitting a reply, not always just clicking links, not always just opening, but hitting a reply and talking, because then the chances of them getting my emails going forward goes through the roof. So you learn about them, you learn their number 1 problem, you help them, that builds a relationship and trust, but it also makes sure that Gmail or whatever their email platform is will deliver the email going forward. It isn't a guarantee, but it increases the odds we've seen. All right, so email number 1, gave them the thing. Email number 2, told them about you, delivered it. Hold on a second. Let me get chat up so I can actually see this. Weird, I got this email from 12 different people. I remember getting this email, love the copy. I think I've learned about this actually for the first time, maybe from Derek Calpern. He used to be in online marketing space. Some of y'all that have been around a while wouldn't recognize the name. I think that's where I learned about it first. And we've done it ever since. And quite a few friends do it now. Oh, that's interesting. Z said, a massive tip, you can use tools that allow screenshotting and it makes all the text editable. I don't think I knew about that. Hey, here's one random tip. We'll keep going on emails in a minute. Z, I'd be curious what tool you use. I use this one called Go Full Page, and it will screenshot the entire page, because a lot of screenshot tools only screenshot what you can see. But if you get like a long sales page you want to grab for swipe copy to look at later on, I mean, you don't want to be screenshotting the 72 page long page. But I don't think this makes the text editable. Hold on, edit. What does this do? Yeah, I think it's just all, I don't think it like OCRs it or anything. Anyway, Go Full Page editor is a Chrome extension. It's free. I don't think I paid for it or anything. So cool little tool. Looks like Z uses Text Sniper. That's fun. Also give you all the copy here in a minute. I'll give you a link and you can use all this and edit it up. Okay, email number 3, we talked about it. No, we haven't talked about email number 3. Yeah, email number 3 now, you solve the number 1 problem. So if you're starting out, you haven't written it, you're not sure of the number 1 problem, take a good guess and make an email about that. Over time, as you start getting, you know, dozens and eventually hundreds and eventually thousands of people respond back to that question, you'll know definitively what the number 1 answer to that problem is. In this email, you want to solve it. You want to give them an exercise they can do to solve the problem. So the goal of this email is to help your subscribers solve one of the most common problems, providing them helpful content. All right. Subject line, does this sound familiar? You also could swap that out with like copy that just talks to that problem. So for us, it might be, well, it could be any number of things, but let's say that we wanted to build this email around like, I don't have enough leads. I literally don't have enough people that are seeing my offer. I don't have enough leads for doing coaching calls. I don't have enough leads going to my sales page to buy my course or whatever the thing is. Subject line might be how to never have problems with leads again, or it might be something more definitive, you know, 100 leads per day, do this, something like that, that just speaks to the exact problem and that you have a solution for it. You could do a how-to subject line, how to never have a lead problem again, how to get 100 leads a month or 100 leads a day or 100 leads a week or whatever in context of the people you serve. All right, most freelancers I know can't stand client phone calls. Heck, I can't stand them either. For a long time, I thought I just had to deal with it. Some problems aren't fixable, right? Turns out that's not the case at all. And in this email, I'm going to show you 2 steps you can take immediately to avoid this problem once and for all. So again, don't get caught up on the problem this email is solving. Get caught up and be thinking of what's the number 1 problem that your clients have, that your customers have. This little intro model, you can model this for them. Most, let's take there's a lady, Corrine Crabtree, has a membership site for helping moms lose weight. and I think she has this particular demographic. I don't remember it exactly. Maybe it's at stay-at-home moms after their first kid or something like that, or maybe 35 to 55-year-old women who have had kids or kids have recently left the house and they want to get their body in shape or something. Let's like read through this email with that in mind. Most moms I know can't stand working out at the gym. Heck, I hate going there too. For a long time, I thought I just had to deal with it and force myself to do that. Turns out that's not the case at all. And in this email, I'm going to show you 2 things you can do to lose 10 pounds in the next month without touching the gym or worrying about the food you eat. Works well, right? So pick whatever your topic is, insert the copy into it. But you do have to identify the problem you want to solve. Now, the rest of this email, we're not going to read through it, but here's what you have to do in the rest of it, because this is going to be hyper specific to this problem and the copy won't be relevant. What you need to do is find a 5-minute magic moment exercise that builds momentum towards solving the problem. So let me give you an example. For Corrine, it could be a 5-minute magic moment exercise that anyone can do, no matter whether they're beginner or advanced, or whether they go to the gym all the time or not, whether they're 100 pounds overweight or 5 pounds overweight. A magic moment exercise she could do is have you get on the floor and do 1 push-up. Just 1. Literally, step 1, get on the floor. Step 2, do 1 push-up. Get on your knees if you have to do the push-up. Do the push-up elevated on the couch if you have to. Whatever you have to do, complete 1 push-up. Because the difference in someone who's done 1 push-up in the last 5 minutes and somebody that hasn't exercised in the last 6 months is drastic. We used to do this when teaching, when our product was specifically focused on list building and that alone. We'd have people just invite 5 friends to join their email list. What you want to do in this email is give them a very simple 5-minute exercise they could do that builds momentum, that generates a magic moment for them, not a 20-minute, 5-hour design your whole website or go to the gym and do this 30-minute HIIT workout. None of that's way too complicated. Yes, they'll have to do that eventually, but you want to give them a magic moment, like fundamentally shift them from someone who's thinking about taking action to taking action. So it might be, here's something almost any industry can borrow from. Hold on. Is a sticky note exercise. This will work in a lot of situations, and maybe put your industry in the chat and we'll brainstorm a few of these. But one that you can use almost all the time is write your goal on a piece of paper. Step 1, what is your goal? Like, what does success look like? Fast forward 6 months, where do you want to be? So let's use Carine's example. I want to weigh 180 pounds, or I want to lose 10 pounds, and literally have them get a sticky note or a piece of paper and write their goal on it. That's step 1. Step 2, take the piece of paper, do 2 things. Tape it to your monitor so you see it all day, every day. I literally have it in front of me. Now I'll see my goal. Step 2, take a picture with it on your phone and make it your home screen lock screen. So now you get your goal. Now, success 1, you're top of mind for them all the time because they literally have a sticky note with a goal in front of it. Their problem is in front of them. Number 2, they have it on their phone, so they're seeing it 150 times a day when they pick up their phone to look at it. That can be the goal setting exercise, which you can make very simple. A sticky note where you write a number or a phrase on it. For bonus points, you could have them write the reason they want to accomplish, the why below. Have them write the what as the big goal and the why below it, and have them put it on their monitor, take a lock screen of. That's something you can borrow in nearly every industry because you want them to solve a problem. What's the goal? What's the purpose behind solving it? Make that the goal. So there's lots of different magic moment exercises, but what I want you to be thinking, because this is something you'll use in your sales copy on almost every promotion you ever do. If you can find a simple 5-minute magic moment exercise, put that in this email. That's what this email needs to be, not the grand scheme that takes them 7 days to figure out. Because if you do that, they're not going to read the rest of the emails and go through your sales process until they've done it. And they're not going to do it if it's complicated. So they're going to wind up getting stuck, actually. That's why a lot of people's webinars don't work, because they spend the whole 45 minutes on their webinar teaching how to do it. But the number one objection is, well, let me finish up all the things you taught me and then I'll get in by the thing once I'm ready for it. But you just created your number one objection by giving them some big exercise to do. Give them a very small exercise that generates momentum so they can do it. So 100-page ebooks, no one reads them, podcast growth, speaker coach, author. Yeah, so for author, it might be the date at which your book will be finished. Have them write the date on the sticky note. For podcast growth, have them write the number of downloads they want on their podcast 6 months from now. Confidence coach. Ooh. I might have them write an affirmation on the sticky note if I'm a confidence coach. Like maybe the affirmation is, I am a badass and I'm confident. Have them write that on the sticky note and put in front of it. So it just serves as almost an affirmation, not as necessarily, it is a goal, I guess. I guess any goal is technically maybe some version of an affirmation. Double dog dare for disaster response. I don't know what that means, Robert. advice for business that sells things like products. Tell me what the thing is. A web designer. Like, are you creating websites for people? LOL, CBD. I don't know what that means either. Trauma recovery coach. Oh, trauma recovery. You could do the affirmation approach for that as well. Yeah, like, and I kind of like, I've never done the affirmation approach because I have more like physical, tangible coaching. Like, I will have this business result kind of stuff. But for trauma recovery coach, like, what is, you'd have to think through this a little bit. It might be good to spend 5-10 minutes thinking about it. But for trauma recovery coach, for instance, like, what is, if you were sitting across someone for 10 minutes, like you go to Starbucks coffee with someone you go to church with, and they have trauma, and they're like, hey, can you give me, a quick tip of something I could do to like just relieve a little bit of my trauma? Like, what would it be? It could be telling someone else about it. It could be, maybe that's too big of a step. That seems super intimidating. Maybe it's just writing it down. Maybe it's writing down to yourself privately, what was the trauma, and just giving it a name. Like, step 1 is just identify the trauma. So literally identify it. So step 1 of this email might be spend 5 minutes to think about your trauma and process through it. Step 2, write, give it a name, label it. And either that might be descriptive, or it might be literally name the thing and give it a name. So it's this third party you can now like take care of. I don't know, you're the trauma coach, so figure out your exercise, but something like that would totally work. All right,
Hey,
that's
Brian.
email number 3.
Hey,
Good.
Brian. Can I need to jump off.
Yep.
I was gonna do the giveaway winner.
Who we got?
Yeah, so I think Anthony Mitchell wins.
I saw Anthony a lot. Yeah.
Yeah, so I'm gonna put my email address in the chat. And so Anthony, you want a copy of Expert Secrets and Outrageous Marketing. And so if you'll just email me your address, I put my email address in there, and then I'll take care of that and get that sent out to you. Also, Brian, if you can make Ben co-host, Ben's on here. He's just Ben. He said he'll take over as co-host for me, and then he'll keep an eye out for Darius. He should be on at 4:15. So
okay. And is it Blue or Ben? I think there's several people named Ben, I think.
Yeah,
no, there's just one.
Yeah.
There you go. Okay.
Yeah. Okay.
Cool. All right.
Cool.
We're set now.
Okay. See you guys. Thanks.
I can't believe you're not Lord Dahl on here, Ben. I'm slightly disappointed.
Right.
Okay, thanks, Bethany. And I was paying attention to Ben. You said you gave Anthony details on how to get address so you can ship it and everything.
Yeah, he's
Okay.
gonna email it to me.
Perfect. All right, cool. Thanks.
Yeah.
Thanks, Ben. And hey, Ben, just interrupt me when you see Darius pop up so I know he's here and we can get to sharing what he did.
Sounds good.
Okay. Where were we at? We're talking about step 1, step 2. Oh, email sequence. All right. So we're taking a long time on this, but hopefully this is helpful. Give me kind of a nod. Sean and Lisa and Heather, I can see y'all. Is this helpful going into this much detail, like kind of walking through each one and giving examples and stuff? Yeah. Cool. All right. Sweet. Yeah, this is great. Definitely. Yes, very helpful. Okay, cool. All right. So email number 1, give them the thing. Email number 2, introduce yourself, ask them for their number 1 problem. Email number 3, solve the number 1 problem. Give them the magic moment exercise. We've given several examples of that. Email number 4, surprise them with a bonus resource. All right, let's read through this email. The goal of this email is to provide more value to your subscribers by helping them solve another common problem. You'll give them a link to a free resource you've already created, like a blog post, lead magnet, or video. I would actually definitely not solve another problem. I would give them a resource like, here you give them an exercise to do. In this email, give them a simple tool of some sort to solve it. That would aid them. It could be an example. It could be a worksheet. It kind of depends on what your magic moment exercise is. Let's read through this one. You can see an example of it. Surprise, here's a little something extra for you. Remember a couple emails back when I asked you the hardest part of dealing with clients, when I asked you what your number 1 problem was? By far, the most popular response I got from subscribers was this. And you're going to insert your number 1 response here. Because remember, you're not helping people get clients. So you have a different topic or problem you're solving. Figuring out a repeatable client onboarding process you can use for all of your projects. Trust me, I've been there. That's why today I'm sending you a free resource I'd probably be lost without. The step-by-step checklist I use every time a client books me. It's going to help you do 3 things. Cut out 1 to 2 hours of the usual new project busy work for every new client. Avoid those embarrassing emails that happen when an important detail slips your mind. Give every client you have the kind of smooth experience, blah, blah, blah. Get the resource here, click to get a link. So let's take Kareen, for example. Let's say Kareen's example, her magic moment exercise was writing your goal weight on a piece of paper and putting it up on your monitor, taking a screenshot, and making it a lock screen on your phone. Number 4, you might give a tool that facilitates that. So Kareen could say something like, surprise, remember a couple emails back when I asked you about the hardest thing about feeling good about yourself and weighing and liking yourself when you look in the mirror? By far, the most popular response I got was this: figuring out a less than 20-minute a day exercise nutrition routine that actually helped me hit my goal, because my number 1 problem is time. Copy that down, make it a little shorter. That could be somebody's answer to that. Trust me, I've been there. That's why today I'm sending you a free resource I'd probably be lost without. And Corinne actually has this really cool thing. I went through a program where you, I never heard of this before, but it's like super effective for eating what you know you need to eat and having your body feel the way you do. You actually pre-log your food for the day. So instead of like using MyFitnessPal to like admit to what you're eating as you're eating it, before the day starts, you just agree to like literally eat whatever you want. But at 6 a.m. before you're hungry, you write down what you're going to eat and you only eat that. So what she could give here would be the worksheet template, like the Google Doc or PDF you could print out and just like pre-log your food for the day. That could totally work for her in this specific situation. That doesn't necessarily tie to the exact exercise. That's going to be hyper relevant to like whatever your exercise is. But for her, that process would work really well. She already has the worksheet, it'd be easy to give out. What you want to do here is you gave them a thing to do that hopefully the majority of people did. Now you want to give them a free tool that's an instant gratification thing, that whether they use it or not, you've just built trust. You've helped them solve the problem by giving them a simple exercise that takes 5 minutes or less. Now you've given them a tool, a resource, a link to an app. You could do something as simple as a YouTube video to go watch. I would shy away from stuff that takes me time to consume here and go more towards something like super instant gratification. So it could be, for me, it might be 5 places you can look to get leads, to get 100 leads a month. Maybe it's a number of places. Maybe it's, I like the worksheet tool swipe file kind of approach, but you're going to have to mold that for your particular problem that you're solving. Okay. All right. Let's go to number 5. Next email. The last. So remember, the welcome sequence has 3 jobs: build a relationship, tell them what's to come, and make an offer to them. So they either buy it or going forward, they know what your offer is so they can buy it when you have a promotion for it going forward. What we don't want is for somebody to be on your list for 7 years and have no idea what you sell. Like that's bad. That's not good. Your marketing's not doing this job. So let's tell them day 1, well, technically day 5, what your offer is. So in email 1, 2, 3, and 4, we built relationship and we told them what's to come. Email 5 and 6, we're going to make the offer. This is simple. This is not complicated at all. Remember, this is going to be in context of your offer. So a lot of this copy is going to be specific to the product this was written for. So you're going to have to mold it for you. Steal my referral system. We all have one. The list of things you know you need to do, but have been putting off way too long. It's called the someday maybe list. And I can probably guess what's on top of yours. If you're like 99% of subscribers on this email list, it's this. Literally, you can use all of this for whatever your topic is and it works. Just insert the thing they've been putting off. Putting a referral system in place so your best clients start sending you new customers automatically. It could be for Corinne, it might be having a simple diet plan that takes you less than a minute a day to do and that you are confident in will help you hit your weight goals. I know it's bad copy, but you get the point. I know because it used to be at the top of my own someday maybe list. For the longest time, I had no idea how to go about asking clients for referrals. I didn't know what to come off. I didn't know how to come off this way. I want to help you do the same thing. That's why I created the referral system implementation call. It's a chance for me and you to hop on a video call for 60 minutes so I can personally help you create and implement your unique referral system. And by the end, you'll have a simple personalized process that will give you the confidence you need to start getting referrals to high quality clients after every finished product. You can get all the details right here. So this would link to like a call booking page. So this email, the CTA, is to schedule a strategy call with us. Yours might be to go to your sales page and buy your product. Opens the offer. Number 6, expires the offer. The subject line is final notice, this expires today. I'm so glad you became a subscriber so that you can solve the problem. Quick reminder, this is the last day to get the referral system implementation call. This can help you do these 3 things. With this strategy call normally costs $4.99. Since you're a new subscriber, you get it free until the end of the day. Click here to schedule your call now. You expire it. Make the offer, close the offer. Make sure you close the offer. Do not leave it open. You can do several things with a strategy call because that can be a weird one to expire because technically they could still like go book a call the next day. You could do a couple things to do that. You could actually put a dollar value on it. If you do that, don't like make that up and lie if you don't charge for it normally. You could add a bonus to it, meaning when you schedule your call today, you're going to get the call with me. Plus, I'm going to give you my welcome sequence swipe file. I don't know. We could have done that on this webinar to book calls if we wanted to, and a lot of you would have booked the call. And then you could expire the bonus. That's a way you can add it onto a strategy call. If you're running a promotion, just run the promotion and expire the promotion. So two simple ways to run an open close promotion: have a price discount that goes up after, or have a bonus that expires after. So you can do either one of those things, whether you're booking calls or selling immediately. Yeah, that makes sense. Yeah, so open close, very simple. All right, I'm going to give you a link to this in a minute. we built a tool years ago called Drip Scripts that makes taking sequences like this that we use really easy to mold. So basically you come into the editor here, and this is free, by the way, I'll just give you a link and you can use this. And it has underlined the sections that you need to edit. So we wrote these so they're easy to like just inject your stuff into, and you don't have to like build the whole thing from scratch. So I'll give you a link to this here in a second, and it has writing tips on each. So each section that's underlined is the copy you need to change for your scenario. And then you can just export this straight to your straight to whatever ESP you use, ConvertKit or whatever, Infusionsoft, or we use HubSpot now. But it doesn't really matter. But you can just export all these straight to your ESP. And you can just look for the underlined sections, look for the writing tip, inject your copy in there, and you're good to go. Yeah, it works with ActiveCampaign. You just literally, it copies it and you just go to your ESP and paste it in and hit save and you're good to go. So let's, let me go back to this real quick. Let's zoom back out high level. There we go. All right, so 3 jobs of the welcome sequence: build a relationship, tell me what's to come, make an offer. Remember, your welcome sequence is vitally important. It's the bridge between somebody becoming a lead and building trust with them. So people that become a lead and don't buy, you want them to get the welcome sequence. So in the future, they will buy. Our single best source of new clients is people that have been on the list for 2 or 3 years or more. But we just been building trust with them for years and years and years and years and years and years and years. And they all, well, many of them, depending on when they signed up, got a welcome sequence. Many of you would have got this welcome sequence when you signed up. And the goal was to tell you what's to come, build a relationship with the company and me, and make an offer to you. So in the future, when we made the same offer to you or a similar offer to you, you would know what our product actually is. So if you're not confident in your welcome sequence, optimize for these 3 things, if nothing else: build a relationship, telling people what's to come, and making an offer. And you can use the sequence that I just went over. By the way, if you want me to help you with this and go over your entire marketing system, that whole this, and help you install that, kind of walk you through a strategy session to show you what it would look like for you and potentially coach you, just put like interested in chat or something, and we'll follow up and kind of walk you through, schedule the call and walk through that. No pressure for that. But if you want that, if you like what we talked about, want a detailed audit of your business, that's free. Just put interested in chat. We'll follow up and make it happen. And Ben, maybe DM people that put interested, grab their email address, and we can schedule the call and chat. Okay. Let me share 3 things. So end of workshop. We'll come back to that at the end and maybe workshop through some specific scenarios as long as we have time. We're going to do 2 more things scheduled today. Number 1, I'm going to share 3 things that I've found recently that are kind of cool. And number 2, Darius is going to come on here in a few minutes. Darius is a client of ours that wrote an email sequence that generated, I know at least in the first couple of days, it was $30,000 of revenue. He's going to walk through what that sequence was, how it worked, and what the final number of sales was. And hopefully we can get him to give the sequence out so y'all can just take it and use it. Oh, hold on. Let me share. I forgot to share the link. Let me give you the link to, oh, no, that's the wrong thing. How do I send this to everybody? Oh, everyone in meeting. There we go. All right. This is the link to the copy that we just went over. So you click that link and it should, yeah. You grab a free Drip Scripts account and just enter your email address, you get an account. It brings in your account. You can mold it and type it, just fill in Mad Lib style, fill in the blank, and then export it to your ESP. So I just give you the link to that. Swipe file is in the chat right now. Just drop the link for it. And if you want us to do a detailed audit of your marketing, potentially coach you, but interested in chat, Ben will grab your information and follow up. Okay. Some of these are marketing related, some of these aren't. These are 3 shares. 1 share, it's coming up on Christmas time. So I make like, I have 3 or 4 people I got to buy, or I got my kids, my wife, probably 6 people to buy for this year. One of my favorite things, if you're buying for a guy, these are $39. I actually bought them on REI, at REI, because somebody gave me a gift card for my birthday. But they're on Amazon as well. So I got the Amazon link for it. I'll copy and paste it in chat. These are awesome gloves. They're pretty cheap, like 30 to $40, depending on where you buy them from. And they're fantastic. I've got them from a nightstand. So these are really good. They're really simple. So they'll pack and ship out well. They're not waterproof, but I found I use them in the morning. I'll go for a run and it's kind of cold. Well, today it's 70, but 2 days ago it was 21 degrees when I woke up. But they fit really well. They feel really good. They're great gloves. So good Christmas present if you're buying for a guy or girl. I mean, you can wear them too. I think they're guy cuts, and they probably might have a female version as well. So grab those. Those are a really cool little gift if you're looking for something easy. Like we have, my wife's side, we all get like a cousin or 2 we have to buy for, and the budget's like $35. So this will totally be a gift I buy this year for them, and buy a couple copies, buy a couple of them and give them out. So cool little Christmas gift. every week when we do shop talk, I like to share a couple things I'm watching. Like I love watching TV. My wife and I watch, I don't know, probably 4 or 5 nights a week. We watch an hour or more of TV. We just love it. It's a great way to unwind. So one show that we love, or actually, I guess this is a movie. We watched this over Thanksgiving break. I think we got it on Disney Plus. Cruella, which I'd have never thought I would love. It was fantastic. Like it was a really good movie. I don't know what the Rotten Tomatoes score was on it, but if you're looking for a good movie to watch, go check out Cruella. It was really good and a really good marketing. Maybe I liked it for the marketing stuff. Really good. Her approach, which I don't know if I ever watched 101 Dalmatians, which is what it's based off of, but it's a live action. Not really any of the stuff I guess I would have thought I would have seen in the cartoon or anything. I guess I didn't know the story. Really, anyway, fantastic marketing case study as well, as far as like what Cruella does. She's the, I guess the antagonist, the primary character in the show, Emma Stone. But anyway, go check it out. Really good. And Succession, we really want, like a lot of friends recommended Succession. It's on HBO. A lot of good actors in it, but it's one of those shows that the plot line's actually really interesting, but there's just like not a single character that you like none of them. They're all jerks. Not a single person do you, and Stacy, my wife and I, like we have a really hard time watching a show and sustaining through a show that's good, but everybody's a jackass. Like, and everybody in this show is just like, man, you're just a bunch of losers. So we're maybe, I think it's just I think the 3rd season just came out, or I think it's 3rd season just came out. We get halfway through and we just stopped watching the thing, which is kind of a bummer. I want to know how the story ends, but I probably would avoid it. So one thing to buy, one thing to watch, one thing to avoid watching, one thing to read. This is marketing related. I'll drop a link in chat to this. There's a really good article written by, I think it was written by Agora, the company Agora. They're like one of the biggest education companies in the world. The title is "We Got Hired by One of the Country's Top Financial Publishers." But what this article is a great case study on how to hire copywriters. Agora, who's very well respected, one of the biggest like online course, them in Mind Valley were probably 2 of the biggest players in the coaching and education space online. And Agora has a ton of great copywriters. A lot of the marketing books you've read have come from people who were copywriters at Agora at one point, and they're great at building copywriting teams. I think Bethany, who was on here a while ago from our team, gave me this article. Really good. It's not even that long, but walk through how they think about hiring and training copywriters. Whether you will do that at some point in your business, you will hire people to write for you. Right now, you might be writing for yourself. Applicable either way. Put this in the back of your mind. Think about it when you get there. Also think about your copywriting skills, how important they are. The majority of this whole session we've been on has been about writing emails. The beginning, we did a witch test one on a Facebook, on a newspaper ad. All that's copywriting. Like if you had to pick one skill, one practical marketing skill to be world-class at, and you could suck at everything else, is being a good copywriter. That's the number one, and there's not even a close number 2. So this article will kind of get your mind spinning in some different directions. It got my mind spinning directions. I've been thinking about this and doing this for 8 years. Really good article. Go check it out. It's a pretty short read. All right, Ben, you there?
Yep. Hey.
All right. Do you know what time it is now?
What time is it, Brian?
so every shop talk, this is one of my favorite topics. We share one article that's not related to marketing at all, but it's related to UFOs, because I'm absolutely infatuated with the topic, not from like a crazy weirdo standpoint, but it's like just interesting stuff. So this is a tweet I saw the other day written by a guy at Politico. So do what you want with that publication. Here's the title of the tweet. When people tell me that UAP isn't important, and UAP, by the way, is that it's unidentified aerial phenomenon. It's just modern language for UFO. Isn't important. My first question is, when did you receive your classified briefing? Because those who have received such briefings are very alarmed. I'm going to grab the link to the tweet and go read the Politico article. Over Thanksgiving dinner, I love just bringing up random topics to trip people up. But I'm generally like, I have friends now, they know I'm interested in just find enjoyment in reading articles about this. But there's been in the last 5 years, like a recent resurgence into government funding of programs to research this. Anyway, it's a hot topic. Go check it out. It's fun reading. Bring it up over Christmas dinner or New Year's dinner. If you're sitting down with your crazy uncle, your weird aunt, just ask them like, hey, what do you think about all this UFO stuff that's going on recently? And you can link them to an article or 2. So it's a fun article. If you haven't checked out the stuff, it's fun. Little take your mind off marketing, do something fun for a second. All right, Ben, UFO minute is up. We'll come back to that next time we do shop talk. We'll have another article. We've done 4 of these and I've shared a different link every time. All right, the winner is, we've already shared, Andrew Mitchell is the winner. Let's pick, hey Ben, let's pick one other winner. I love doing this twice. So we'll pick one more person that's been super active throughout workshop time. We'll go to Darius here in a minute. Is Darius on yet? Has he jumped on with us yet?
You know, I haven't seen him unless his name in here is not.
All right. Well, Darius, put in chat if you're here. We're going to get on an interview here in a minute. If not, we'll take 15 minutes to workshop through welcome sequences. So let's pick one other person, Ben, that you've seen be active to win a copy of Expert Secrets and Marketing Outrageously. And whoever he picks, just DM Ben with your home address or whatever you want these mailed to, and we'll Amazon Prime them to you. So these are 2 books I've read in the last year. One of them I just finished the other day. Expert Secrets I read back in, I think, March or April. Both of them are fantastic. So who you got, Ben?
Well, Z in the chat has actually been taking notes for everyone as we go. So I feel like, how could we not give him a shout out here?
Z's good people too.
Yeah.
Z, we got a new project coming for you soon, by the way. Z, hey, why don't we unmute Z and have Z tell everybody what he does? Maybe we can workshop this welcome sequence for Z if he wants help with that.
Yeah,
I'll wait for
absolutely.
Darius to jump on.
I think Z, you're unmuted. So go ahead, man.
Awesome. Hey, thank you so much, guys. Yeah, for me, I absolutely love learning. I've been following Brian's emails for a long time. Actually bought his Black Friday offer.
Hey, there we go. Sweet.
Yeah, so I mean, that took a lot of nurturing for sure before I made that first purchase. So Brian's right. You got to kind of stick with it and keep sending value. So
Awesome.
absolutely converted me.
Hey, what's your offer, Z? Like what is your business and what do you do?
So we've kind of repositioned it a lot over the last 10, 11 years. And so at the core of it, we're selling branded merchandise, custom swag. So you guys bought t-shirts from us, and now we're going to likely help you guys with some fulfillment projects. But at the core, we split our business into 3 menus, essentially. One is for people and culture, sales, and retention. So those are the 3 menus. And so for people and culture, we design, manufacture, and ship out onboarding welcome boxes for companies. So it's just basically an automated process. We help just streamline that for them. So if you want to send out a t-shirt, a journal, a notebook, and a welcome card, we will completely take that off your plate. So you don't have to have someone in the office kind of doing that. And likely you could get a better return on your investment for their time. On the sales and retention side, we have different programs that we sell essentially. So we believe you should recognize and reward your staff. And so we'll help pitch a recognition and awards program because we want you to keep your staff happy. We suggest you do that with your clients as well. I seen Ezra, he runs one of the largest Shopify stores. He gives out a championship belt when you hit $1 million. Russell Brunson gives out this 2 Club award. It's a great way to recognize, and I see people bragging about it, running Facebook ads showing off that they've hit this 7-figure milestone. And so essentially we're selling products, programs, and the vehicle is the products.
Who's your ideal client?
Ideal client is, so it's really ranging. We're working with startups to publicly traded companies, but our sweet spot is really 100 to about 1,000 employees. We find that typically they'll end up spending anywhere from $75,000 up to $150,000 annually.
And how do you attract clients? Let's get to the marketing system of how you do what you do, if you're up for that.
Yeah. Let's do it. So I'll be honest. What I try to train my team is just have a lot of conviction in the products and service that we're delivering. We represent Nike, Under Armour, Patagonia, some of these massive companies, and we're helping you co-brand. So we know the quality of the products are premier, they're top notch. And so we've been really overwhelmed, and we're so busy that I'm trying to hire and ramp up that. But a lot of our business is through referrals. Do a phenomenal job. Consistently ask for referrals, even on the first phone call. So Brian, would it be fair for you to be willing to share, and Bethany will tell you, because I bugged her for referrals probably 15 times, and I got her to agree to giving me a backlink on one of the articles she was working on. And so even though she didn't have an immediate referral ready, she was willing to give me a backlink, which I was like, all right, that's good enough. And as we build a relationship, I can keep asking because I believe in the value that I'm delivering.
Okay, so we were literally just having, this is a good referral marketing conversation. We had a product meeting the last 2 days. Product team came to Nashville. We've been talking, and we spent 2 hours on how can we turn our clients, like current customers, into our best sales force. Meaning literally just what's a way we can intentionally get referrals and not just wait for them randomly to come in, but do that. So here's one objection we invented for ourselves was, all right, somebody signs up, somebody hires us today to coach them. We have an onboarding call with them tomorrow. And on the onboarding call, we say, hey, Z, do you know anybody else that would be a good fit for this? And Z says, no, actually, I'd want to experience your coaching first. I want to wait till I hit my big goal before I do that. And that could be 3 months, 9 months, 12 months from now. And it winds up just pushing it down the line. What, maybe 2 questions for you. One, how do you prevent that objection? And then how do you overcome the objection if you get it? How can you ask that in a way that actually gets referrals?
Yeah, it's funny. I was talking to my fiance about this. She's got a business as well. So I think one for sure, the team's got to have massive conviction. Know that for sure you're delivering value and you're giving people a win. So if I'm having any sales calls, I want to give you a win. So here, if I'm on a call, hopefully you can see my screen as I go through my presentation. Which can you guys see on my screen here?
No.
Is it showing my video?
I guess your face, yes, but I don't have screen share.
Oh, it's not pulling in the.
I might have to give you, oh, there we go. Yeah, we got that now.
Cool. Awesome. So basically, I'll convince you that happier staff equals more revenue for you. And then I'll share this and be like, look, here's some different programs you should consider having on onboarding merchandise, maybe a book club. Well, you guys already do that. Awards. And my goal is to bring one unique idea that maybe you haven't thought of or considered and give you a win. But before I give you that, I want to ask you, if I can deliver enough value, if I give you one unique idea or one win, even if it's a small one, would you be open and willing to make an introduction or share with me someone that could also benefit from the same value I'm delivering to you?
Yeah.
And most people will say, yeah, that's not a problem. And I think it's like, you can't be shy about it. I know what we do is awesome. I believe in it to the core of me. And so I keep asking. People get really shy and, I don't want to be pushy. You just share the information. And it's also the law of reciprocity. The more I give, the more you give, the more you're going to get back. So you've been nurturing me with all these emails, and I actually had to stop and email your team last week. I'm like, man, these emails are freaking awesome. They're just so packed with actionable things that I know you can package up and sell, right? And then I eventually ended up buying something a few weeks after that. So once a sales call is done, there's incredible value that's being delivered. You can create an experience. So if the average ticket is 10 grand for high ticket coaching, maybe a welcome box would be an awesome, delightful way to give them that experience. At the end of the day, your brand is only what I think. It's my gut feeling of your company. That is all your brand is. The only thing you can do is influence me in thinking a certain way.
Yeah.
So the email content, the welcome series, all of these things. So we pitch a combination of products and then the entire overall experience.
How many people that you ask for a referral give you a referral?
I'll say I get a lot of, we're not, I don't know, but then I just make it easy for them. I use templates. I go to their LinkedIn. I try to find ways to get them, and then I work it. So just about everyone, I will pull at least a minimum of 1 referrals. I believe each person should be able to give me at minimum 3 per project, depending on how intensive it is and how many calls it requires.
Yeah. Well, one takeaway from hearing that too is it's not I ask one time and I'm done. It's you ask and then you hustle until you get it. So that's interesting.
Yeah, and the offering is different too, because you sold me a $97 Black Friday deal. So we have 3 programs. One is a la carte. You tell me you want 100 t-shirts, you order them, you give me your logo, I print them, and you're happy. Great. Yeah. Then we have a program where like, I've got an idea, I need a little help, give me an idea or 2. And so we'll help you out a little. And then the third one is consulting. Let's actually map out a strategy. Let's look at what's your average customer value, what's the cost of acquisition, where's your churn, and how can we implement these unique programs in place in order to help improve these things? How can we improve the efforts? And so that's the model. It's like a la carte consulting, or we'll help you a little bit, but I'm not going to spend 3 hours with my team brainstorming ideas, because that falls into the consulting.
Yeah, that makes sense. Cool. I appreciate it, man. We'll be reaching out to you soon. We were just talking about you yesterday. So
yeah, I had a great call actually with Bethany right before.
Oh, you did? Okay, cool. All right. Well, you might be up. I don't even know if she's totally up to speed with the last 2 days. She wasn't there, but we did have some other things we're working on with clients that we're implementing, and a couple of new ideas that were brainstormed. So thanks for coming on and sharing, man. This was really helpful. Hi, brother. Ben, how are we doing over there in chat? Anything we need to surface and chat about or share?
Let's see. Nothing too much, actually. So I think we're good to keep rolling.
Anybody have questions about welcome sequence? Do y'all want to workshop through your specific situation and talk about how to apply the welcome sequence, the magic moment exercise, the problem solving to you? If you would like that, let me know. We'll bring yours up on the screen and kind of chat through the sequence and talk about how you can apply it. Let me know. All right.
We do have a, oh, sorry, go ahead, Chanel, if you want to unmute. Or if that was an accident, either way. In the chat, we have a couple of people asking what the frequency is on the welcome sequence, if it's daily, every other day.
Oh, yeah, daily, and I avoid the weekend on the welcome. So just day 1, day 2, day 3, day 4, day 5, day 6. And then don't send, ideally, and most DSPs make this easy these days, but ideally don't send on Saturday or Sunday. Yep, that works. Hey, and Anthony, send Ben that address if you don't mind, or I'll attempt to. Ben, I'll send it over to you. There we go.
Yeah, perfect. Sounds good.
Anthony, when is the best time of day to send emails? I mean, you could split test this into the oblivion. I do 8 a.m. local time and just let it ride. If you're in Europe and you have a ton of US based people, adjust to their morning. But I like my emails being in the inbox first thing in the morning. I find in general, and again, this is general, early morning, late evening works the best. But you can read 7 different studies about email deliverability time and see 7 different things. So early morning, late evening, weekdays. Although Sunday night is a great email sending time. Some of the best email open rates and biggest buys we've ever had have been Sunday evenings. So that's, I don't know what the dynamic there is. Maybe you're getting ready for work and you're kind of, not a lot of people have Sunday evening plans. So you're just kind of more tentative. I don't really know, but we'll use that Sunday evening time slot a good bit of running a promotion or some sort because it tends to work really well. Yeah, Blake said active campaign offers predictive send over a 24-hour period based on each user's specific preference. Yeah, that's cool. I tend to think most of the hyper optimization for time for anybody under 1 million subscribers on their list is mostly just a waste of time. That doesn't mean you don't pay attention to it at all. Look at your numbers and see. But if you're under 10,000, man, just send it at 8 a.m. and keep moving. Now, if you're doing a promotion and you're sending multiple emails in a day, which I'd recommend on close card day, like your Black Friday, when you close the card on the promotion, send multiples a day, then time of day matters because you don't want to send them all at the same time. So it's in morning, midday, evening. But if you're sending 1 email a day, content-based stuff, man, it's not like there's a million other things to worry about way more than your send time and send day. So yeah, that's kind of generalized advice. But also, like I said earlier, if you want to talk about your strategy specific and want me to audit your marketing, kind of walk you through what a specific plan for you would look like to hit your revenue goals in 2022, just put interested in chat. You can DM me or Ben, or just put interested in chat and we'll reach out, grab your email address, set up a time to just chat through it with you specifically. We'll bring up the ATM graphic, walk through, audit your business, kind of make a plan for you. So if you want that, just put interested in chat. We'll follow up and make that happen. It's totally great. I had to run. Can't wait for replay. Yeah, we'll send that a replay on Saturday, and we're waiting on Darius. Darius should be here in another 7-8 minutes or so. The main part of the workshop's done, but if you want to hang on, forget Darius. We'll be chatting through. He's a client of ours who wrote an email campaign, sent it out to his audience, and I know in the first 2 days it generated $30,000 in sales, and I think it wound up eclipsing 50K. So he'll walk through the type of campaign it was. Hopefully, share the campaign with us. Even if we have to follow up with that, we'll grab that. Hopefully, send it out to you so you can check it out. But it's a really effective campaign, kind of a cool campaign type. We'll kind of chat through that a little bit, let him share that with you. And hopefully you can learn from that and use it yourself. How big is Darius's list? That's a great question. We'll ask Darius when he gets on. I got quite a few questions for him as well loaded up. I tried to get him on a little earlier and he hadn't responded to my email. So we'll hang out and talk shop a little bit and then get to that. Hey, Ben, question for you.
Yeah.
What's been the most effective ad we've run in the last month? Do you happen to know that? Maybe we could look that up and share.
Yeah, for sure. I'll go pull it up.
It's shop talk.
That,
let's talk shop. Yeah. By the way, Ben is on our marketing team and runs our paid ads. So paid ads is a channel we're getting up and going. Obviously, partnerships is our #1 lead gen thing we've done for the longest, and for the past 6 months he's done nothing but spend all day every day writing, running, managing our ads and our ad funnel. So we'll share some stuff that's working for us as we wait on Darius.
Cool. I'm pulling it up now.
Yeah, all good. Did we run any ads, by the way, for Black Friday stuff? or is that all email?
We did that totally via email.
Yeah. Hey, Blake had a question as you're pulling it up. Are you finding problems with Facebook ads as a result of iOS privacy recently? I guess that was back in March. Has there been more stuff since then, or is that back in iOS 14?
Like ad tracking issues since iOS 14 that are new.
Yeah, he's talking about March actually. So the iOS 14 stuff.
Oh, gotcha. Yeah, we had some weird tracking issues around that time. We couldn't directly attribute it to iOS 14, but we've been manually keeping track of calls for with source codes, and we got a couple of third-party softwares that help us with that too to keep it straight. But
He said his audience target. He said his audience targeting went way down. Did you notice any changes to what audiences you could target since then?
Yeah, so Facebook has removed a tremendous amount of interest, and you can not get that granular anymore. And one of the things I've noticed in building new interest audiences recently is the targeting expansion is automatically enabled. So all the audiences now are kind of huge. There's not really the ability to target down to like that 10,000 person audience with that one on that one specific page, like you used to be able to do.
TJ asked, I think this is the email sequence question. Would you ideally want a longer sequence? If so, what would that look like compared to these 6? Yeah, I think it would probably look like 2 things. One, I would tell origin story in email number 3, but tie it into the offer. Meaning I would tell the moment that I had the transformation that solved the problem that I solve as a business. Meaning for me, that might be around partnerships. It might be the moment that Noah Kagan reached out and asked me to write a blog post for him. I did it, and we generated 1,000 subscribers from it. And over the course of the last couple of years, generated over 300 grand from one partnership of him promoting me. I would tell that story and tell him tomorrow, I'm going to show you how I did it. And then that would bridge into the magic moment exercise. Second thing I would do was potentially put a couple more emails in the promotion. So an open cart, which is fine. I would inject a case study on the second day. I'm gonna have 2 emails on closing day. So if I were to expand it and try to increase the conversion rate of it, that's what I would do. That's increasing the aggressiveness of it from like a 2 out of 10 right now to like a 4 out of 10, but that's within my threshold. Like I'm fine with that. I don't want to get up to like a 9 out of 10 in a welcome sequence, but that would get it to, a 4 or 5 out of 10 aggressiveness level, which is totally fine. I don't think that's out of bounds at all. I mean, you could make the call on that yourself, but that's what I would do if I were to expand it even further. Bill said, thanks for the content today. Been fantastic. Thanks, Bill. Appreciate you being here, man. Let's see. Cheryl asked, what would you suggest if you don't have a product ready to sell yet in the last email sequence? Could you ask for a testimonial on the material resources? Or is this too early? You know what I would do, Cheryl? I would heavily consider asking for a referral of someone else. I would give a CTA to forward the email to one friend to join the list and give them a little copy they could use to do that. I'll pull up, I shared this in last shop talk. I'll see if I can find it real quick. James Clear has a really good version of this. And what was the other one? The Flip Side, which is a daily political newsletter. Both have a really good, let me see, I might be able to find it on Twitter faster. Have a really good way of doing this. See if I can find it. I'll show you an example of this. Give me 1 second while I pull it up. But yeah, I would try to use it as a growth mechanism and do that. I don't know if I'd ask for testimonial because I guess maybe you could do that. If you're in the middle of validating the product or something, you could potentially do that. I don't know, this might be weird to share. Let me see if I can share this. All right, so Ben, can you see this? It's like I'm sharing a Loom screen share.
Yes.
Kind of bizarre to do, but okay. So this is the bottom. If you go to jamesclear.com, sign up for his newsletter, get the newsletter, you'll see this at the bottom of all those newsletters. So the content's at the top, this is at the bottom. So you can get inspired from this. Share 321 and get something useful. If you enjoyed this message, please tell a friend about 321 newsletter. And if you do, I'll send you a special bonus. You're just 3 referrals away from unlocking the Great Speeches PDF. Oh, you know what I would do? Hey, here's an idea. I should know this URL. Go viral. Maybe is that our URL? This is our own website, but I don't remember the URL of the thing. Go virals. That's not it. Oh yeah, here we go. Go viral.io. All right. So with Go Viral, what you could do, Cheryl, is build a share campaign. So it's like, hey, I got an extra bonus for you. If you share this on your Twitter, or share this on social and you can unlock it. That's basically what James is doing. You can use goviral.io. It's free. You could use the viral email campaign. You could go here and you can check it out how it all works. But basically, when they click the email, you can pick the social platform it goes on. But in the email, you tell them about the extra little lead magnet of the bonus that they have. And when they share it, they unlock the bonus. So they would share it and then they come back and that would unlock the extra bonus. That's basically what James is doing. But the heart of that, what I'm looking for there is in the email where you would normally ask people to buy or schedule a call with you, I would have them share a thing so your newsletter can grow. And when you're ready to schedule calls or give an offer, then you could swap it out. Does that make sense? If I explained that in a way that was intelligible or not, but hopefully that'd be where my mind goes immediately. For those with the F welcome sequence, how do you target those who are already on the list with an updated welcome sequence? You could just run them all back through it again. Yeah, so you could write the new sequence, and then the only thing you'd have to modify is the very first email. You could say, hey, you've been on the list for a while. We've made a bunch of updates, and I just released a new 5-part sequence that's going to give you 3 bonuses and teach you X, Y, Z. So this is the first email. Enter email number 1, and then the next day they're going to get the next one. That's really insightful question, actually. Especially if you we should probably do that ourselves because we've added new sequences and our list has been around for 8-9 years. There's a ton of people that haven't been to do it. By sending them back through it again, we would churn a lot of people. A lot of people would be like, oh, I don't really want this. That's fine. It'd lower our bill. But the people that do get through it would know the offer. Some of them would schedule. We'd probably book a bunch of sales calls from it and get clients from it. So that's a good idea. Mark asked a question for you, Ben. Which third-party tracking tools did you use to help you Facebook attribution issue?
Cool. Yeah. So we use 2 that combined pretty much give us all of the answers we need. One is just HubSpot, where you have the HubSpot tag on your pages. You can see the pages, the emails they opened, all of it in one place. But sometimes we still get disjointed emails where there's activity across 2 or 3 separate contacts. And so the one that helps us get true original source is called Hyros, which folks familiar in the internet marketing space will probably recognize Alex Becker's name. And Brian was super skeptical of it, but it came with a good guarantee. So that's the other one we use.
Yeah. Oh, can you share the Go Viral site again? Yeah, let me just type the URL, goviral.io. Yeah, so what was it called? What's the URL? Type it in chat so people that are interested in that particular thing, specifically Blake, can go check it out.
The Hyros site specifically?
Is it HYROS?
Yeah, and I forget if it's .io or just .com. I think it's just .com.
Yeah, just Google it. All right.
Yeah.
High return on ad spend, or high. Is that what it stands for? I actually have no idea.
It's just random, I think.
Is it? Okay.
Yeah.
It works. It's kind of memorable.
Yeah, the branding is super bizarre. They've got laser breathing crows. Sure.
Whatever works. We should have a mascot. We need a Growth Tools mascot.
Yeah.
Can it be around cake? Maybe a baker?
Yeah. Start sending cakes to people. Maybe we should do that here.
Yeah, we need to tell everybody about cakeys. So random thing. Again, we're killing time as we're waiting for Darius. So feel free to put any questions you have about marketing or anything we talked about today. We've far expired my agenda for the day. So we were, one thing is we're going to the next phase of the company now. And, we've hired a bunch of people in the last few years and trying to keep the culture and the core values of the company all kind of aligned is a surprisingly challenging thing to do. We've had several of the same core values, the same, I just use core values because everybody kind of has a general sense of what that means, but I would call core values like the general operating system of the company. And what are the things that are pet peeves? What are the things you would hire for and fire for? And not just performance. Obviously, performance is something for everybody, but here's one for me, for example, is when someone commits to a due date and misses the due date and doesn't communicate about it. Like due dates get missed, that's fine. But if you have a due date, you commit to doing something, and then 3 days go by, and I'm like, hey, what happened to that thing? And I ask you, like, oh yeah, I forgot about that. Like, man, that's really annoying. So we have a core value of constant and radical FIO, and FIO stands for figuring it out. And part of that is just radical ownership, thinking like an owner, is what all into characteristics of that. Anyway, we're refreshing the core values, rolling them out, something that will endure for the next 10 plus years, and then we can use this common language throughout the company. And we kind of used an acronym, and I don't know if you can read this, but we have 6 core values, and we try to make an acronym that was somewhat memorable. So we named them the Keikis. You know how you have like the Dundies at Dunder Mifflin, where Michael Scott would give out, a Dundie to people for doing whatever. So we have now called the Keikis. So each of the core values over here, I guess, starts with a CAKI, yes. And each week, we pick out one person on the team who either gave a keiki out, like we try to give out, a dozen keikis a day, catch people doing things right, attribute it to a core value, and give people shout outs all the time at base camp. So we just have a constant stream of people finding things teammates did right, talking about it, giving it shout outs, like confident people perform well. So let's catch people doing things right and tell them about it. And let's attach it to a core value. So we're always training our core values just organically. But we wanted to make it kind of cool. So we made a keikis, made a little logo out of it. I actually bought a giant foam cake off Amazon that we're mailing out to everybody. This is kind of cool and memorable. But each week, we're also sending one person on the team, somebody that gave a bunch of shout outs, gave a bunch of keikis out, or got a cool shout out. We're sending them or Instacart or is it Instacart? Yeah, we're getting Instacart in their town to deliver them a cake. So every week, one person on the team gets a cake and gets the cake. So it's kind of fun. So that's where we're talking about the cake stuff. But anyway, it's kind of a fun little branding way internally that we can make our core values fun, have them in front of us all the time, make it unavoidable. So if some new person comes in and they're just like 1,000 miles away from being able to exhibit our core values, they just don't last. Or ideally, they never get hired, but they get trained up quickly or churned out quickly, one or the other. It's kind of a fun thing. These values are textbook perfect, in my opinion, short, sweet, easy to remember. Yeah, we even made a logo. We bought this little cake off Amazon, and then we had our designer, Bruno, make a little sticker out of it, which Ben will mail this out to everybody. So it's a funny little cakey sticker. And Ben doesn't like cake. So when Ben wins a cakey one week, we're going to have to find, I guess, brownies you said you like. So we'll send you a giant like brownie cake or something to be fun.
Just the cheapest mix from the grocery store.
But one of our core values is we don't take ourselves too seriously. So just trying to have fun with stuff like this and not getting overly serious. I mean, we have a mission we care about and we really, care a lot about and want to accomplish, but we also just want to have fun along the way. So just taking the core values and being a good example of just being kind of silly and fun. Yeah, and Darius looks like he's MIA. Jeanette just DM'd me and said we've emailed and texted and called Darius and haven't heard back from him. So we might just have to chalk Darius up and not do a live interview today. So we'll have to do that on next Shop Talk. So we'll wind things down here. Ben, thanks for being a good wingman today. And Bethany, prior to you, 2 wingmen today. Will DeShazo, who's been with us on the last 3 or 4 of these, was traveling today, so he wasn't there. So give us feedback on these, by the way. This is something we want to do every week. Tell us the parts of this that was helpful. Did you like the workshop that was planned? Did you like the riffing after the fact of sharing Facebook ad stuff and different tools we use and talking about internal core value stuff? Let me know in chat right now, like what was your before you leave, this is my one ask of you today. What was your favorite part of the workshop today? What was your favorite part of Shop Talk today? Was it recommendations? Was it which test won? Book recommendations, the giveaway, Ben talking about cake and his hate of it. What was the thing that you enjoyed the most today? We'll try to do more of the thing you like and less of the things you don't like. And oh, by the way, one last CTA for you. If you want me and Ben and Bethany and Jeanette and our entire team to audit your business, to look at your business, break it down and create a roadmap for you to grow it to $1 million and more over the next year, put interested in chat. DM me interested, DM Ben interested, or just put interested in chat. We'll follow up with you and give us your email address too. We'll follow up with you and schedule the time to do that. We'd love to spend 45 minutes like going through your business with a fine-tooth comb, crafting a strategy for you. That's literally our offer. Our offer is we have a free call, but our offer is coaching. Like that's what we do. We have an amazing one-on-one coaching program where we work through with you and make it almost impossible to fail at growing your business. And we're the only coach I've ever heard of that guarantees our results. If you don't get the results that we set up for you, you get your money back. I don't know if I've seen people offer good guarantees. I've never seen a coach actually guarantee the results of the program. And we do that. So if you're interested, let me know. We got a few people saying interested. So, Katja and Josephine and Norberto and Laura, if you would DM, reach out to us with your email address and we'll set up a time. We'll schedule the time. It'll probably be early next week for us to jump on the phone and chat about your business. We'll send you a questionnaire with some questions so we can know ahead of time. We'll jump on and have an in-depth call. So y'all hang around. We'll get information from y'all before we shut off. Everybody else, thanks for being here. We'll do this again. I'm planning on doing it next week. So I'll send you out an email the day of so you know, but I'm planning on same time, same day. I'm actually out Tuesday and Wednesday next week with leadership team meeting, but hopefully Thursday afternoon, 3 p.m. we'll do this again. So if you want to talk shop, we'll pick another thing to teach, share some book recommendations, talk shop a little bit about what we're doing and share it with you. So appreciate y'all being here and we'll chat. So those of y'all that said interested, hang around, and Ben, are we DMing those folks or something? Let's get email addresses from them so we can follow up with them.
I'm on it.
Okay, appreciate you, man. I'm going to turn off my video and mute myself. Ben's going to follow up with y'all, get email addresses. If you said, oh, I got a couple here, Ben. that I'll send over to you. We need a more elegant way to do this.
Yeah.
We need
What-
Ricardo and Drew on so they can go fill these, but anyway, they're traveling today as well. So
Yeah,
Anyone who
question.
said interested, if you can directly message me your email, that'll be very fast, but I'll be reaching out to you guys too. And Owain has a question.
oh yeah, what you got? I'll answer your questions while we attempt to figure out how to get email addresses.
Is there a way to
Uh-huh.
promote your YouTube channel but using a strategy that does not take a lot of money?
I can understand what you're saying, Wayne. Can you say that again?
I'm saying that is there a strategy or a method to promote your YouTube channel using not as much money as other YouTubers use to promote?
Yeah,
it?
totally. So Wayne's question is there a strategy for promoting your YouTube channel in a way that doesn't require ad spend? 100%. Go just it's exactly the same as podcasts. That the number one best way to grow a podcast is go on other podcasts for two reasons. One, it's the same medium, meaning when you go on a podcast, let's say we have a coaching program that helps you grow your business. We have a marketing coaching program. So the single best place I could go to do podcast interviews is other people who talk about marketing. So somebody like Mixergy or someone like Entrepreneur on Fire or Side Hustle Nation or any number like marketing podcasts. When I go and interview on those podcasts, they would grow my marketing podcast. So you want to do guest appearances on other people's YouTube channels. We just had a client. I think we're going to write up a case study on this. That I don't know her name. Jeanette, if you're here, maybe you can chime in with her name. We were just talking about this the other day, but she did a YouTube live with a small YouTube channel. The YouTube channel has like 9,500 subscribers or something. She did a YouTube live workshop with that YouTube channel and booked 56 paid consultations from it. I don't know what the cost is of each consultation, but like she had to shut down her website. Like she couldn't take any more customers. She flooded it so much. So I know you're not selling off of it. You want to grow a YouTube channel, but the best way to grow your YouTube channel is to do guest appearances and partnerships with other YouTube channels. So if you want to set up a call, we can chat through different creative ways you could do that and kind of work through your specific situation, talk about other YouTube channels you could partner with and how you would do that. But like Peter McKinnon, for instance, he's a huge YouTube channel now. He's got to start by partnering with a giant YouTube channel with Casey Neistat. And he found a creative way to do that. There's all different really cool ninja guerrilla tactics you can do to make that happen. But that's where my mind would go is how can I partner, make a dream list of 100 YouTube channels and don't make the biggest check. If you have a YouTube channel with 72 subscribers, do not put Casey Neistat and Mr. Beast on there. Like don't start there. That's dreaming, which we can get to in years from now, but don't start there. Start with people that have 5,000, 10,000, 2,500, 20,000 subscribers to their channel. And then we can orchestrate a very specific strategy for you to get in front of their audience. There's lots of ways to do that. I've given you a few examples here, but that's exactly what I would do. That doesn't require any money. It's all elbow grease. Ben, we good to go?
Yeah, I believe we've got everyone. Yep.
Cool. I'll take a few screenshots too. There's several people DM me, so I'll send those over to you in case you didn't get them. But appreciate y'all. Thanks for being here. We'll see you next week, same time, same place, next Thursday, 3:00 Central Time. We'll send out some emails just to verify. But we're planning on doing that, and we'll see y'all soon. All right, Ben, I'm going to text you Katja. She sent me one, so I'll send it over to you. All right, I'm going to end Zoom now. Appreciate y'all. Shop Talk next week. Bye.